A social worker was shocked when a woman accused of murdering a baby boy she had hoped to adopt admitted she had used physical force on him. Laura Castle, 38, made the confession as 1-year-old Leyland James Corkill was on a life support machine in hospital with catastrophic head injuries. Preston Crown Court heard. The youngster had been living with his prospective adoptive parents Castle and her husband, Scott, 35, when emergency services were called to their home in Barrow-in-Furness, Cumbria, on January 6 last year. Laura Castle reported Leyland James had fallen from a sofa while she was in the kitchen. But medics at Liverpool's Alder Hey Children's Hospital raised concerns the injuries did not match her account. She has since pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of Leyland James, who lived with her for less than 5 months, but denies murder and child cruelty. Scott Castle has pleaded not guilty to causing or allowing the death of Leyland James and also to child cruelty. Jurors were told the couple had undergone a rigorous process by Cumbria County Council in being allowed to look after Leyland James, who was taken into care at birth. This process included therapeutic parenting sessions in which prospective adopters were taught how to be more nurturing and never to use corporal punishment. Laura Castle is on trial at Preston Crown Court, Image, Liverpool Echo. On Tuesday, Penny Hindle, a social worker of 35 years' experience, said she phoned Castle before the baby's life support was switched off on January 7. She said, "I said to Laura that I had been advised that Leyland James' injuries were not consistent with her account. She was very upset. She said she had previously tapped or slapped Leyland James. I was really shocked that given the emphasis on not hurting, assaulting, smacking, disciplining children in a physical way, that she was saying that was what he had been doing. Leyland James was only a baby. He had just had his first birthday. I was really shocked that she had used force." The court heard last week a colleague of Mrs. Hindle voiced her concerns that Laura Castle stated during a home visit in November 2020 she did not love. Laura Castle went on to tell Mrs. Hindle that she felt the youngster did not like them, the court heard. A looked-after child review followed in which Mrs. Hindle said she allegedly could not support a permanent adoption application from the Castles. The social worker said the Castles accepted the decision and more therapeutic work took place at their home on December 16, jurors heard. The tot was rushed to Alder Hey Children's Hospital, Liverpool, Image, Liverpool Echo. She said, "It was not totally negative. Scott Castle and Laura Castle both engaged well. Leyland James was there. But they did have a lack of joy in everything that he seemed to do. Some of their responses were negative and they were struggling to bond with him but they weren't asking to remove him because they couldn't go on." Laura Castle explained her family loved the boy so he was not going anywhere, she told the court. Mrs. Hindle added, "My reaction was that in itself is not a good enough reason to adopt a child. I was not convinced the adoption would hold." A further meeting was scheduled to take place very early in the new year to discuss Leyland James' placement, Mrs. Hindle said, but on January 6, she was allegedly made aware of the incident at the Castle's home. The mobile phones of the defendants were examined by police following their arrest as text messages revealed Laura Castle telling her husband of leathering Leyland James on a number of occasions, jurors heard. The couple also referred to the boy in derogatory terms such as a proper knob head, a dick, a fat shit and a toss bag, the court heard. Giving evidence, Laura Castle's mother, Julie Houghton, said she had no concerns about whether her daughter was coping with having Leyland James in the. She said, "We welcomed him into our family. He was part of our family." Michael Brady QC, prosecuting, asked, "Did she tell you that she loved Leyland James?" Mrs. Houghton said, "She said she had not bonded with him as much as she thought she would have. Both were fine though when they visited her home on January 5, she said, and Leyland James appeared more settled." The trial continues.